Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Disruptive Franchise podcast with me, Stacey. This week, we have the wonderful guest Tessa Day from Clubhub joining us. Hi, Tessa.
Hi, Stacey. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Really, really good. I'm so happy to have you here because you are such a force of nature in the industry. And anytime I come to any of your events, I just feel so happy. So thank you for being on the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah, force of nature. I don't know if that's like a good thing or
Oh,
a
it
bad
is.
thing.
Really good thing. I always know that if you're involved, it's going to be amazing. So it's a good thing.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, that's definitely a huge compliment. So thank you.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Clubhub, Tessa.
Of course. So, yeah, my name is Tessa Day, and I'm the director and founder of Clubhub UK. It's the UK's largest children's activities directory. It's a website and an app, so parents can search for their location, their child's age, or ages, and what they want to do. So, for example, swimming classes, dance classes, karate, holiday camps, events, anything they want, and then the results come up in geographical order. So yeah, it's all stemmed from me being a children's activity provider myself. I started Tessa's Jazz Hands when I was 21. And yeah, I just love promoting children's activity providers, but also supporting small businesses in the UK, and yeah, helping parents as much as I possibly can.
I love it. And you have really helped so many businesses and so many parents. It's amazing. So I guess it all started, like you say, with Tessa Jazz Hands as a provider yourself. How did you get the idea for Clubhub? Because that's it's grown into something amazing, right? Where did it start?
Yeah, I never thought it was going to be like this. 10 years ago, well, 9 years ago, when I kind of started the Clubhub idea, I kind of thought, let's just do it, see what happens. You know, when people set up their own businesses and they're kind of like, let's see what happens. And I was quite young at the time. I was 23 when I started Clubhub, and yeah, I didn't really think it was going to become a full-time job and everything that it is now. But yeah, at the time, a lot of the advertising, I'm sure Stacey, was kind of like flyers at school gates and in those kind of families magazines that they put in school bags, and a lot of it was kind of handing out things by hand. And then I kind of thought, what if there was a website where people can just find everything online instead? Because everything was coming kind of everything was processing digitally, with people just typing something into Google, and people using their phones a lot. Social media was starting. So yeah, I thought, let's kind of see how this works online. And luckily, a social enterprise company down in Dorset, they had their own kind of STEM coding kids club, and they offered to create Clubhub for a third of the price that everyone else was charging me for the website and the app to be created. So yeah, I went with them, and yeah, now Clubhub's 9 years old.
Amazing. What a story. Like that's incredible, isn't it? And how
Yeah,
is it 9 years old already?
I
Wow.
know, I know. We just celebrated our ninth birthday this summer, and yeah, it was we did like a little video. I'm sure people can find it on Instagram, of like describing one word to do with Clubhub, and it was so lovely because there was words like community, friendship, and there were kind of ones like support, and all these types of words that people describe Clubhub, which is exactly what I wanted from the start.
Yeah, you really do. Like for me, Clubhub isn't, I mean, I know that actually the premise of Clubhub is about parents finding their activities for their children, but for me it's so different. It's about the community, it's about the people that are involved in it, not just yourself, but like all of the other people listed on there, the people that come to the awards, which you do. It for me, Clubhub as a activity provider has just been something that's actually very nurturing. And
Yeah.
what you've created there is very special.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why I love doing the Clubhub event and awards every year, because we get to see everyone in person. And it's funny because we should all kind of be competitors because we're all doing, the same thing. And yet we're not. We all talk to each other about what's working for ourselves in business. We all ask, what suppliers we're using, and we all kind of ask each other for advice. Whereas I'm sure in other industries it would be completely different. We're like, I'm not going to talk to you about what I do.
It's a really common theme on this podcast, actually, because all of my guests have said exactly the same thing, whether it's about children's activity or franchising. Like, that industry is so collaborative versus a lot of other businesses out there that really aren't. I talked in one episode about the time that I worked at car rental franchise, and it was very cutthroat, and they did not collaborate with anyone. So
Yeah.
this is like the complete opposite. And I think people, for anyone listening who's thinking about starting their own business or like getting into franchising or children's activity, like, you'll hear that message time and time again, because it is really a lovely, lovely community. It is.
Yeah, and I'm sure, yeah, and for everyone listening, yes, you are kind of a business owner and you kind of do everything by yourself, but it's so much more than that. You're not just, by yourself and feel isolated at all. It's definitely, I've definitely made friends for life in the children's activities industry, and I think there's a number of people I could contact at any time if something went wrong, or I don't know, I needed help with something. It's just such an amazing industry.
Yeah, it really is. So let's go right back to the start of Club Hub. You're already running Tessa's Jazz Hands, and I'm sure that that was keeping you busy enough, because it is hard to run your own business. So you had this idea, which obviously was bang on the money. Like, how did you feel about that kind of innovation of, I'm going to start a website and an app and I'm going to drive it forward? Like, how were you confident? Did you like know what you were doing? Were you making it up as you went along? Like, how did it
I think
start?
Yeah, I think listening to customers and children's activity providers and parents has always been key from the start. So, for example, at the beginning of Club Hub, it was completely free for children's activity providers to sign up and become members, because we didn't have that, traffic or user, base for to kind of sell children's activity providers classes to. So we were just building it up, and it was completely free. It's always been free for parents, and still is. So from that, we learned what worked and what didn't work. What keywords or key phrases we were kind of concentrating on with our website and the SEO of it. And I think I've taught everything myself, and I think that's important for people to know listening, is that you can do it anything you want. You just do it. You learn by online courses. There's so many kind of small business webinars and things that people do to help you along the way. I mean, I've got a background in musical theatre and dancing and singing and acting. I've got a diploma in musical theatre, and I knew absolutely nothing about marketing or SEO or websites or how to, I don't know, do anything digitally. I think it's really important for people to know that if they have an idea or if they want to start a business, you can just learn everything that you need online or go into events. As you know, Stacey, it's so important to go to events, and especially in this industry, because you learn so much and you collaborate with so many kind of amazing people, that I think that's the key about events, and like the Disruptive Franchise Awards, like awards as well, because you'll meet someone who does something that you don't do, or they'll say, "Oh, did you know there's a new size to the Instagram, I don't know, post?" And you're like, "Oh, is there?" And then you're just learning on the go as things kind of go along. So yeah, I think listening to people and listening to your customer base is key from the start.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think sometimes actually it's an advantage. So I classically trained in marketing and business. I've got a degree, I've done it 20 plus years. And actually in this era that we're in, actually a huge amount of success comes from people who don't have those backgrounds, because that gatekeeping that used to be there, like when I was at uni, it was such a gate kept industry of like, well, we don't want to tell everyone what we're doing. I remember training in web coding and design, and it was really hard to get onto the diploma for it, because they were like, we don't just give this to anyone. And now, now you just get an AI boy who does it all for you. But that success, I think, very often comes from that entrepreneurial mind of, well, I need to just figure this out. because then you figure it out, you do it, and then you're on to the next thing, rather than sitting there and procrastinating, kind of going, oh, am I going to do it right? Have I done it perfect? Like, just get it done, right?
Yeah, I completely agree, Stacey. I think, yeah, it sometimes maybe helps if you don't know about it in the background, because you want to know about it and you want to be able to do it yourself. And the more that you can do yourself and set systems for it and automate things, the less you have to pay someone else to do it. So of course, I'm all for like delegating things that need delegating within businesses, because I've been awful at that in the past. Like, this is my business, I'm going to do everything for it type of situation. But yeah, to grow, you do need to delegate, but then also you can, automate so many systems that you can learn about to help you with your business, like you say, with all these new AI things coming into place, and chat boxes, and yeah, goodness knows, all of that happening over the next couple of years. But yeah, I think it, as long as you kind of are open to learning about all these things, then you can do anything you want.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's literally the sky's the limit. And I just think that's so exciting, isn't it? Really is. And like, to your credit, like having started with no knowledge at all, and what I actually really love about what you do at ClubHub is that you're very transparent with the data.
Oh
So
yeah.
there's a lot of suppliers who actually are quite kind of they will gatekeep that data. They will kind of, it's not for public consumption. Whereas actually you put out a monthly post and you're like, right, this month we got 30,000 reach or 30,000, like whatever it is. And actually seeing that journey with you over the last, even just like the last few years, has been tremendous, really. So well done you for sharing it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that is really key with your business, to put yourself out there as a person. I think the reason why ClubHub has been so successful is because I've been at the center of it, saying it's me. Of course, I've got a team of people now, but a lot of the time I was doing everything myself. So I was asking people for, what was going wrong, or, glitches or certain things. And yeah, I was seeing kind of not competitors, but other businesses who might be slightly similar to what I do, with ClubHub, with kind of other industries. I saw them kind of share huge numbers, and I was thinking, goodness, like, I'm way behind them. This is kind of, I didn't realize it was, those types of numbers were happening. Millions of users, millions of, all this and stuff. And I contacted my website developers, and I was like, just to like let you know, I'm kind of looking at this business who seem to be having this many views and stuff, and it's on their website as, this and this. And they're like, that's not true. They're just saying that because they want to tell their customers they've got those, followers or users, or kind of stats. And I was like, how are they allowed to do that? And they were like, well, they can. Of course they can. They can just put, you can put anything on your website. I've received 3 million this and that. So yeah, that was a long time ago that I found that out, and I was like, you know what? I'm always going to be transparent with my ClubHub members, always. So yeah, that's why I do the monthly posts. It is, my social media manager gets one document, my SEO developer sends another, and it's all exactly, correct. And I think that is key for businesses, is to really be as transparent as possible.
I completely agree with that. And it's hard, isn't it? Because we live in an unregulated online world where nobody has to prove anything. Advertising standards agency, yeah, they can be on you, but actually you can say whatever you like. And this is where authenticity is so important, because that's what builds the relationship. And I think, hopefully people understand that there is an awful lot of inauthenticity, and if you're going to sign up to advertise with somebody, that you actually ask the right questions and also see the proof. But I think the use of transparency for you, it really helps drive emotional connection to you as well, because, and this is so key in this marketplace at the moment, because you're trustworthy. You're not reporting that you've got millions and millions of people when it's 30,000 people, by the way. It's like half of Wembley Arena. Right?
Is
Not a
it?
small number, yeah.
Wow.
You know,
Goodness.
do you know what? 30,000 is double Wembley Arena.
Oh,
16,000 in Wembley Arena. I did this as a different project. Yeah, so you've got 2 times Wembley Arena. That's a lot of people.
yeah, goodness, yeah. That's the thing. I think people get sucked in, by other things. They might read one review or one thing, and they're like, yeah, let's go with this supplier or go with this kind of person. When actually, I always say to people to look at stats of different things and data, because you can do it yourself. I set up something with my website developer. I was like to track certain traffic sources and certain kind of things. Like, for example, I track anyone who clicks any of the buttons on a ClubHub listing, like the book now button or the contact button, and then I see who where that kind of traffic source is coming from. Of course, this is all when people just accept the cookies in the first place. But yeah, I think, having that kind of website developer who can set that up for you to start off with, then you know where everything is coming from and you know what the actual stats are for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be design led by data. It's half of the Emirates football stadium if you are a football fan. Huge amount of people, definitely. With building ClubHub, obviously you then added the awards, and it was my first time at the awards this year, and I actually just left feeling a bit sad that I hadn't been to the previous ones, if I'm honest, due to scheduling clashes and things like that. But what made you kind of decide, like you've built this website, you've grown this kind of community, you've been very transparent. What made you then decide to add in the awards as well?
Yeah, so there were a couple of reasons why I created the ClubHub Awards back in 2019. Firstly, I kind of wanted to celebrate the industry more because I didn't, at the time, there weren't lots of specifically events for children's activity providers. There are awards for small business owners. There are awards for kind of female-led businesses because, of course, a lot of the children's activity providers are female. But there weren't kind of specific awards for children's activity providers. So I thought, I definitely wanted to do that. And then, secondly, I always, from the start, it's always been judged. So there's been absolutely no voting with the ClubHub Awards ever, so that anyone can win. So you don't have to be, someone with a huge friendship base or franchises or anything to get loads of votes. You can literally be a tiny charity in the middle of nowhere doing amazing things, and you can win a ClubHub award. So that's what I love about it, is because I don't do any of the judging or any of kind of the scoring or anything. At the end, I see who's won or who's a finalist, and I'm like, I've never heard of them before. And quite a lot of the time, I've never heard of maybe half or a quarter of the finalists. And I think that's the most amazing thing about the ClubHub Awards, is that we're bringing to light, we're showcasing there's so many amazing children's activity providers doing amazing things for children across the UK. And that's all different types of subjects. That can be, STEM or, preschool, along with all the holiday camps and everything. So yeah, and then also I think the reason why I love doing the ClubHub Awards and event is just to see people face to face as well. I think Andy from Beyond Blocks said that one of the best reviews ever a couple of years ago now, saying that it was like his staff room. And I absolutely love that, because it is, because we all kind of catch up and we all chat, but then we also kind of learn from each other as well because of the ClubHub workshops, which is throughout the day, and the keynote speaker. So yeah, and I think in this industry it's so important to see each other face to face as much as possible. I mean, I go to quite a few events now with the Children's Activities Association one, the Ignite one, and ICAP, and also awards like yours, Stacey, with the Disruptive Franchise Awards and others. And I think it's so amazing to celebrate each other.
Yeah, completely agree with you. When I left the ClubHub Awards, I just felt very nurtured. Kids are like, oh, you're working at the weekend, and I was like, yeah, but no. at work. It's nice and fun. I'm going to catch up with all my friends. It's going to be great. And it's a very relaxed and lovely event. And I completely agree with you on the judging aspect as well. This year, so I didn't judge this year. I was a judge last year because I wasn't running the awards last year. It was so hard judging. I found it so difficult because there's so many amazing things happening. But to be the person running the event this year and not have to judge and just be like, oh, he's the winner, like, oh, these are finalists, like that was so nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So I'm happy that yeah, I'm in that position now. But so last year you were finalist of Disruptive Supplier of the Year, right, with Club Hub, and rightly deserved. And you came along to the awards last year, didn't you? How was your day?
Oh, it was amazing. It was so lovely to see everyone. As soon as I got there, there was so many hugs. I was hugging everybody. Jess from Showtime Circus was very pregnant, so I was like chatting to her loads and making sure she was okay, because she was kind of doing the warm up at the beginning of the day. And yeah, it was amazing to start off with, because we were seeing, you know, loads of people that we knew and friends. And then of course, as the day started, we learned. So we had Maddie doing some talking about kind of neurodivergent people, which was really good to kind of just listen to someone's kind of you know, like what they thought of you know, running their business and how it worked. So yeah, it was good to do some learning, but then it was also great to get loads of photos as well. So we took loads of photos of our table, and then I got introduced to quite a few people, which was fantastic. So people that I hadn't known, or maybe just kind of emailed online. I kind of said to Anna from Caterpillar Music, oh, do you know them? And they're like, oh yeah. And then, you know, introductions, which was fantastic, because then you kind of connect on LinkedIn, and kind of collaborations come up. But then of course the awards in the afternoon was absolutely amazing, because everyone was just cheering everybody on, and it didn't matter if you're a winner or a finalist, because you all got, you know, those photos that you can share online. And I think I've said to people before, it doesn't matter if you're a finalist or a winner, you have to go to the event, because otherwise there's no point applying. I mean, I've got a certain rule in the Club Hub Awards that you have to be able to go to the event to apply, because otherwise there's just no point going. It's so important to be able to celebrate yourself and your business, and also to get that kind of press and that you deserve. So I always share afterwards on the Club Hub blog everything I've, you know, done. Like, so I did a blog about the Disruptive Franchise Awards and being a finalist. And I also shared, you know, on social media. So everyone thinks that you're like, oh, you know, you've won something, when actually I didn't. I was a finalist. So it's, you know, putting, you know, on a lovely outfit. I had a lovely like kind of summer dress on, and being able to show that, people think that you're, you know, you're kind of above other people or other businesses, because you're putting yourself out there to win awards.
Yeah, it elevates, doesn't it? It's that elevated position of like, and this is why I love judged awards. I as a personal will never apply to anything that is voting, because I don't have enough friends.
That's not true. That's definitely not true.
It's okay. I'm happy to say that. It's okay. But like also I don't like that. And I no bones about it. Like there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you do. But for me personally, I like, if I win an award, if I'm a finalist for an award, I like to be able to say that it was judged by a certain criteria, by somebody who kind of put me side by side with other people that are doing, you know, amazing things. So for me, that was really important when I was kind of took over the mantle for Disruptive, that stayed in place. And I think you're absolutely right. Like coming to an event like that and being a part of it, you get so much more than just, you know, taking home the certificate or taking home the award itself, because you get to really connect with people. And like you, I strive for a very relaxed, friendly, warm environment. Like that's what we want. That's what Disruptive's all about. It's not about coming in with your crazy outfit and not talking to anyone. It's about coming in as yourself, being authentic, and making connections to people who maybe you've chatted to online and you don't know, like where you've just seen them on Zoom and you don't know what their legs look like. you get to see that they've got legs, and it's wonderful. But like you say, making those connections as well. Oh, do you know such and such? Or I do this. Oh, you should speak to that person over there. Like, I just love that. I just think that's so invaluable as a business owner. And I'll be honest, it took me quite a few years, like in franchising, to kind of understand that. So, like the first kind of 5 years as a franchisee, I feel on reflection like I was a bit of a hermit. I didn't really go to anything. And actually, when I started to go to things like EWIF and, you know, like Club Hub this year, like you really see the value of just being in the room and how warm everybody is. But it's also good fun. Like, you know, I am a like personal development junkie. I'm always learning. But like to come away, like you say, last year we had some amazing talks on neurodiversity and had the Limbless Association there as well, which was
Of course, yes,
so
yes.
incredible to listen, you know, and kind of really hear about some of those stories and the resilience, and you know, just, and you don't get that from sitting at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so upset I'm not able to make it this year because I'm currently 36 weeks pregnant and due to give birth any day now. So that I think that
Good
is
reason
quite,
not to do that.
yes, it's quite a good excuse, but I've already, scheduled a social media post to go out the day before saying something like wishing everyone luck. I'm really, really like, I'm so sad I can't be there. But I think it's you that said to me, I can't remember when, that it was like JOMO instead of FOMO. So it was like joy of missing out, not fear of missing out.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to own that JOMO, because yes, it's amazing to be at these things, but when you're having a baby, you don't need to be at an award ceremony. It's okay, Tessa, you can sit one out. But I think sometimes as well, we get it's like, particularly like doing the awards this year in September when they're usually actually in like June time. Like there's so much that happens this time of year. And we actually, the original date was October for these awards, and I had to put it kind of forward a little bit because the CAA announced that their event was going to be a week after my original.
Oh, wow.
I'll be burned out, let alone everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's trying to fit in and get to the right things, and so yeah, and scheduling, like,
Yeah, it's so difficult. I think I've always had the Club Hub event in May. That's kind of second or third weekend in May each year, kind of in between the bank holidays. And it is so difficult for other people to kind of schedule things because as amazing as it is, there are so many more children's activity events than there were 5 years ago. There's so many more, and of course everyone wants to go to them, as you said. So everyone wants to go to the Disruptive Franchise Awards, and then everybody wants to go to the CAA one. And sometimes when they're in different places, in the UK, or you need to kind of make sure that you're you're choosing different things. But yeah, I think as time goes on, everyone will just know that that's kind of the weekend for that particular event. And I do kind of say to people running events, don't try and change the date too much each year, because people might want to know that is the weekend for that event each year, or day during the week. I mean, events and awards can be at any day of the week. I've just, with the Club Hub one, when we do the feedback form, everyone always says the Saturday is the best for them. So that's why we do Saturday for Club Hub. But yeah, I think it's just so amazing that our industry is growing so much, and there's so many more franchises, there's so many more independent businesses. There's so many more kind of business owners in this industry, that it's great that we get so many events to celebrate them all.
yeah, it really is. It really, really is. I remember sitting down as a franchisee and being like, okay, I need to get out more. I remember setting myself a task years ago, like, once a quarter, I want to be out in person. And actually, if you look at what's available, like you could be out like easily once a month between kind of like March and November, I think, which is like obviously the majority of the year. The rest of the time, like November to March, you kind of just want to hibernate anyway. But
Yeah.
so much out there, which is so lovely, because actually years ago, it just wasn't there. So it's great to have that appetite there for sure. What advice would you give, Tessa, to anyone who's thinking about applying for an award? Because it's quite a big deal, isn't it? Like whether it's Disruptive or Club Hub or any of the others, like a lot of people are put off by like, oh, I won't win. But like you just said there, like you get so much more out of applying for an award than just being the winner. What's your advice to anyone thinking about it?
Yeah, so my advice for anyone who entering awards was firstly be just go for it. Firstly, because I think a lot of people look at the application form and go, oh, I've got to talk about myself. I've got, but if you don't start, you'll never ever do it. So I've applied for lots of awards now. I've won a lot of awards now, but I've got a Google document with every single application that I've ever applied for, because a lot of the time, a lot of the questions are actually quite similar to in different award applications. So I just look at the question, go to my Word document, and think, oh yeah, let's do that section, and then update it, of course, and then make sure it's relevant to the question. So firstly, yeah, definitely start, because if you don't start, you'll never ever do it ever. And I think it's really important to celebrate all of your milestones, everything that you do, because if you look back, it is great to do these applications, because if you look back in previous years, and at the stats, or your turnover, or different kind of growth aspects, you see how kind of much you've grown or improved over the years, and you will never ever see that unless you do these types of award applications. Because I was looking at one application I did, I think, well, last year actually, and the number of when I last did that particular application was like triple of kind of what it was when I was entering, which makes you feel amazing. And then on those kind of bad days when you're kind of sitting at home and you're like, oh, I can't be bothered and I don't want to do it. We all have those times. I have those times sometimes. And you're able to kind of see how much you've grown as a business owner. And then imagine how, what it would be like in 5 years' time or 10 years' time. I mean, you could be a millionaire, like you could do anything. So yeah, I think it's great to kind of see progression when you apply for awards, and of course, yeah, as you said, and we both said, being able to go to the awards and meeting people and celebrating everything is incredibly important.
Yeah, it really is. Tessa, if we could wave a magic wand and do anything without failing, what would you do?
Oh goodness, Stacey, that's a really good question. It's one of these ones that you see on like Instagram or like kind of social media, and you go,
Days will
and
be days.
yeah. So I think what I would do is to have well, it's kind of two parts of it, is to have every single children's activity provider on Club Hub and in the Club Hub community. It'd be amazing to say we've got, I don't know, 40,000, 50,000 children's activity providers that we're supporting, because it's also completely free for charities to become Club Hub members. So every time a children's activity provider signs up, they're also supporting the charity because we promote them for free. So that kind of goes round in circles. And then also, of course, I'd love for every parent in the whole of the UK to use Club Hub to find local activities near them, because we both know how amazing children's activities are for children to attend throughout the year, for confidence building, for kind of loads of different things, when they're little, kind of baby signing and fine motor skills, and then when they're teenagers, making new friends and kind of getting out in the community. And there's just so much that children can learn from an after school club or a breakfast club, or an online course, a holiday camp, that I really wish if I had a magic wand, that every parent or family or carer in the UK could use Club Hub.
Love it. I love that. Yeah, you're so right, because you get so much more. It annoys me a little bit in the press when they're like, oh, every year parents spend thousands of pounds on, but like, yeah, but it's for really good reason. And actually they get so much out of it. Like they really do. So yeah, I love that. I fully support that. Let's get that happening. Awesome. Let's make it happen. Love it. Tessa, thank you so much for joining me today. I've thoroughly enjoyed chatting all aspects with you. If people want to come and find you to register for Club Hub or join as a provider, how can they find you?
Yeah, of course. So if you're a parent or carer and you're looking for activities local to you, just go to our website, www.clubhubuk.co.uk, and you can type in your details and find what's near you. And of course, there's a favorites kind of section, just like in a shop, where you kind of favorite which one you'd like to go to, and yeah, you can contact the provider directly. So yeah, we're not a booking system. You contact the provider directly to book. And then yeah, with if you're a children's activity provider, running any type of activity for children, we're from antenatal all the way up to 18 years. So yeah, any type of activity, go to the Club Hub membership page on the Club Hub website, and yeah, there's different packages available for you. Of course, the charity one, which is free, and then there's the bronze, silver, or gold package, depending on how big your business is and how many locations you have. And then, of course, I'd absolutely love you to follow us on social media. So on Instagram, we're at Club Hub UK. And on Facebook, we're the Club Hub community. And then, of course, if anyone wants any advice on their business, or kind of wants to talk to me about anything, I'm Tessa Day on LinkedIn.
Amazing. Thank you, Tessa. We'll put all of those links in the show notes as well, so that people can go click on them and find you really easily. I've absolutely loved talking to you, Tessa. Thank you so much. Thank you. This episode has been very kindly sponsored by Bookwhen and Make Your Mark podcast agency, who we send out great thanks to. Without them, none of this would be possible. Thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, please remember to hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. See you later.
Bye.